I said at the start of the year as well, like when they got off the back of Reid Marnie and he was direct and he was getting out and he was playing like you can still run the shape. Like the shape still presents it like two forwards in the exact same shape with the halves out the back. But I feel like they need to carry a couple more, generate a quick play ball, which all the best teams are doing now. Like Melbourne are in that shape. They can sit in that shape, but as soon as they get a quick one, bang, they go.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the YKTR Sports Show. As always, joined by my good friend, Skipper Scope. What's up, baby?
Scopeful, baby.
You had the QC challenge this week and starting to go right, that content, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good. I've even jumped in the comments today. There've been some great ones that come out. It's going to be me and you head-to-head on Friday on the 3-point challenge, so looking forward to that. I also did this morning, for the first time, I did the Clovelly run swim, which was real fun. So that's going to be...
Is that well known out east? Is that
I think they get a bit of a group, but because of COVID, they have to sort of dribs and drabs turn up at different times. So I got in at 6:15. You do 5 laps around Clovelly, around the bend, jump in the water, swim across, run, swim. Unexperienced at it. I need better footwear. I had to take my shoes off and I was running on the gravel, which was fucking painful for the feet after it, but it was a cool little challenge. So I'm going to get the kid to come in nice and early on Friday morning and do that with him. I think like with the Clovelly backdrop, and he's been doing some fucking great work for us in the vlog. So I think it'll look really nice.
As always, we are in the BSC content studio. Got to pay the bills there, so shout out to BSC for supporting the boys, supporting the brand. Getting the boys through the morning routines as well. I've been smacking that pre-workout for a minute now, and it gets me up the hills and starting to chop you down, aren't I, Scope?
Coming around there. I can hear those heavy hoofs coming up behind me. So
you got the heavy hoof. All right, guys. We launched a Doozy Club last week, so it's gone really, really well. So if you aren't a part of the Doozy Club, it's exclusive, all access for those diehard YKTR fans. We're starting to put some shows behind there. We've got Shape, which is one of our most popular shows. That's definitely behind there. Events coming through. I think Simi's going to be calling a bunch of people. Got free YKTR clothes coming for one lucky member pretty soon. But let's rip into the sports show.
I signed up to that too because my allowance is done, so hopefully my name comes up on that board, yeah?
Oh, I've got some... do you know what's funny? So we done in the circle one yesterday, the giveaway, and Travis Young popped up.
Yeah.
And I was like, Travis can talk to me anytime, so we'll brush him through him.
But that's mad, eh? He's supporting us. We support each other, and there are other guys like other podcasts and whatnot, so grouse.
All right, so rolling into the finals, probably the round of the year, easily.
Grouse round.
I'm excited for this. I haven't been this excited for club football. Plus, the All Blacks are playing on Saturday as well. Jacko, 5 o'clock.
And we've got TJ Perenara locked in for next Wednesday to chat about his journey, and then a little bit of Bledisloe chat from the first game and going into the second game.
Speaks well, TJ.
Yeah, TJ's gone.
All right, so game of the round. A couple games that really stick out to us right here. Eels versus Rabbitohs. Eels in this really weird little place right now. What's your thoughts on that game there?
It's a tough game, and they've easily got the toughest run home, which we'll get to in a little bit. I've gone through all the teams in the next 5 games and where I project them to be. And Eels, I know they get Mitchell Moses back this week, but Rabbitohs are firing, mate.
I reckon Rabbitohs going to pump them, eh?
I love the Rabbitohs. You will see as we get through to it, but yeah, I've got a big rap on the Rabbitohs going all the way into the finals.
Another interesting game, Roosters and Panthers as well. Potentially Nathan Cleary's back. We'll touch on that a little bit later and how important he is. But, man, Roosters just keep on keeping on, don't they?
Yeah, they're consistent, mate. Big, great culture. There's so many outs. Nice little signing in Dale Copley, who is just a nice veteran winger. He'll do his job. He's the perfect Roosters player.
When did he go there?
This week.
I've seen his name on the team. I said, where the fuck did he come from?
Yeah, so Dale Copley's been up at the Broncos this year. He's floated around the Titans for a couple of years, but he'll go nice with the Roosters.
All right, game of the round. Give us the little wrench stew.
Yeah.
The wrench stew.
Wrench stew. Little Bunsen.
Seagulls versus Storm. God history. Obviously, know anyone that played for Manly back in the day?
Oh, there's one guy in the office, but he doesn't really talk about it too much. But this is a massive game, and I think you'll be surprised where you think I'm going with this.
Yeah, your loyalties are split, aren't they, at the moment?
No. I've always said Melbourne are my second team, but I have a theory for Manly potentially progressing and what will suit them as the year goes on.
Couple topics. Does the combination of Nico Hines and Ryan Pappenhausen enough to stop Big Tommy T at the moment?
For this game?
Yeah.
For this game?
Yep, you reckon?
Yep.
What do you reckon is going to happen in this game?
Well, all right, let's get straight into it, and then we'll roll on to what I just think at this point of the season, Melbourne will win this game.
How much?
It's going to be close. I think it's going to be real competitive. I just haven't seen enough for Manly as of yet to declare them in this game. They'll have, and to be fair, like I said, we're going to get down to, like, I've got my projections and going into finals. I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing. If they lose this game, as long as they don't get smoked, which I don't think will happen, it's a bit of a learning curve because they're still, you look at that roster, a fairly inexperienced team with regards to finals experience. So playing this game against Melbourne and, sort of putting a game on film which will benefit them come finals time. And then also if they drop it and then potentially end up in that 5th spot compared to a lot of people think they're going, a lot of people would have them competing for that 4th spot.
Yep.
I don't think finishing 5th is such a bad thing for them.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this game. 7:30 as well, so it's the main game on a Saturday. Fuck all to do in Sydney anyway. I'm really looking for the battle of the halves, to be honest. Cameron Munster versus Fozzie. He's been in good form.
Yep.
Obviously, Money's probably a little bit ahead of him right now in this part of their career. DCE, man, he's been in awesome form and club form as well. Jerome Hughes is probably...
He's the form half of the season so far for me, apart from Nathan Cleary, obviously, because Nate's missed a bit of footy now.
He's at 2. Obviously, Ches is a more pure fullback.
Halfback.
Halfback. He controls the game, kicks it, probably gets a lot more touches than Jerome, but Jerome's special, man. He's got that game-breaking ability. I'm really looking forward to that battle. Rolling into the forwards here, this is a big battle for... Man, you look at their back rows. There's your 2 boys up in there against Kenny Brom and Chris Lewis.
Felice Kafusi's a massive out for this game.
Where's he gone?
He must be injured. He must be injured or suspended.
Yeah, that really hurts him. And then the bench as well. Tommy Eisenhoof back, Pappenhausen and Grant. Pretty light bench, to be honest.
Yeah, I like Manly's bench over him in that matchup, which is rare. As you take Harry Grant away, who's exceptional, and Pappy, just because of the role he will play, whether they're still working his minutes in, they're not. Bellamy's not in a rush. He's, I said Melbourne win this game, but Melbourne wouldn't be too bothered if they lose. If they lost, because they're still building. He's just a smart head coach, and he knows this game's not going to define their final
I
series.
reckon he wants to smack him, eh? He's too competitive.
Stat for your scope.
Yep.
Manly have only beaten one side with a winning record all year, and that was Parramatta in round 6.
And also, here's another stat for you, Jacko, because I've done my homework. Like I said, they haven't won 4 games in a row yet.
No,
who? Melbourne?
Manly.
3 wins, 1 loss.
They're 3 wins, 1 loss since Turbo's been back. It started in round 5. So this could be likely that a game they drop, but like I said, I don't think it's a massive negative. I think it's going to be a fucking grouse game, though.
I just want to see how Melbourne defend Tommy. That's the interesting
thing. And whether they give away too many tricks, because whether he saves it do they show their cards this early?
I reckon you show them. If you can lock them up and shut them down, I reckon most teams will try and copy it, and then you potentially knocking Tommy T out of this form that he's in.
True.
Because you can't. Can you stay in this that good a form for all the way up to the end of the year?
He can.
He's
proven it.
I think as a team you can, because there's 17 of you, so you only need, say, 12 of you to play good most weeks, which is still a lot.
Yeah.
But just Tommy on his own all the time, can he maintain that?
Yeah, he's maintained it for, going on 10 weeks now. Through Origin, he maintained it.
Hainsey and Barber, we always reference these two. They did it as well, didn't they?
Yeah, Hainsey's run was a little bit shorter. Benny's probably was more the whole season. Hainsey's would have been a real purple patch of about 14 weeks. But Tommy, different to, I'm not too sure, with what their boys with their preparation. I said, I was speaking to someone a couple of days ago. I think it might have just been the boys when we did the Kiddies Run Club. The thing now with some of these elite players that they're even dating back to 2012, like Benny, the information that's given with regards to recovery, how they prepare, diet, all these sorts of things. This is why the elite players, it feels like
playing for longer, eh?
Yeah, sometimes it looks like a bit of an imbalance. The middle tier players as good as past players? I just think the better players are getting even better, and it's due to, like I said,
sports science,
preparation, sports science, and all those sorts of things come into it.
And even basketball, we've had these guys to look on and learn from. You know what I mean? Tommy would have been watching Snake for years and
Yep.
Billy Slater and all those types of guys, and we've got access to highlights and stuff all the time. So it's easy to sort of copy what they were doing, and then you add into all this other sort of stuff as well. Sports science, fuck, they turn out to be freaks. So yeah, I think Melbourne still do a bit of a number on them. I'd even go past 12, 13. I would go past 13.
You going 13 plus?
I reckon, yeah.
I think the line's 18.5.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's overs.
Yeah.
Jeez, I'm going to have a lick on that.
Yeah,
I'm going to have a big lick.
I just think Melbourne are looking forward to a challenge.
Yeah.
And this is the biggest challenge that they can get right now.
Yep.
All right, so you got a bit of a top 8 prediction, bit of forecasting, bit of research. You want to dive into this?
Yeah, I just want to dive into a couple of teams in particular that matter. I think Storm are going to finish on top. We could go through all the teams, but basically, all right, I've got the Storm going undefeated all the way through, which puts them on 46 points. Panthers and Rabbitohs are kind of irrelevant because they're going to finish 2 and 3 no matter what. So when it comes to finals, whether the Panthers finish second or the Rabbitohs, they're going to be a really good contest. They play each other round 23, so that'll probably determine who finishes second and third. But like I said, going into the playoffs is relevant. The 4 spot, this is the big one. Eels have got the run of doom. Rabbitohs, Eagles, Cowboys where they get the dub, Storm and Panthers. I can't see them beating any of those top 4 teams.
So you got Rabbits loss, Eagles loss, beat the Cowboys, lose to Storm, lose to Panthers. Yeah, fucking.
Can you see anything else happening other than that based on what they've
maybe one here or there from
where Panthers,
Eagles, maybe an Eagles,
maybe like the other team that's been a bit scratchy of late is Panthers because of injuries, but there's like you said, there's a chance that they get Cleary back this
Max.
week.
They're winning 2 out of 5.
Max.
All
right, and then now we move down to the Roosters, who are also on 28 points. All right, so we've got the Panthers. I've got a question mark next to this.
Yeah.
I think Panthers win this week. They beat the Broncos. They beat the Dragons. I believe the Rabbitohs are I've got them going dub all the way through there as well. Rabbitohs beat them. And even Raiders right at the end. It's a tricky game, but I'm going to put a dub just for the sake,
Raiders roll into Mad Monday. Oh, no, are they close?
Yeah, they're a chance. So I've got
18.
We'll roll over to top 8 after this. All right. And then now we get into my bird game. I've got them dropping this game against the Storm.
It's surprising that they're at 6, eh?
Yeah, because they
watch them now.
The 0-4 start.
Yeah.
The 0-4 start. Like you obviously just say you give them 2 games at the start of the year if Turbo plays, or that's pretty much they played some winnable games too at the start of the year. All right, so you get into the Eagles. They're on 26 points. They've got L against the Storm, win against Eels, win against Raiders, win against Dogs, win against Cowboys.
So they're in the 4.
This finishes with the Roosters and Eagles on 34 points each, and the points differential right now is the Manly are 23 points better.
So they'll get them, yeah.
So there's a good chance that Manly go up to 4th, right? All right, let's flip over to the top 8 battle. At the moment, the Titans are 7th at 18 points. Sharks are 8th at 18 points. The Knights are 9th at... so the Knights are 11th. It's the Raiders, Dragons and Knights. All right, so the teams that matter, I believe. We're not even going to do the Raiders and Dragons. I don't have them. I think with the Raiders playing the Storm, Manly and Roosters... or top 6 teams. That's quite a tough draw for a team that's going to be competing against. When you look at the schedule of the other, let's go straight to the teams that I got finishing 7th. Your Knights. All right, so they play the Broncos twice.
KP named captain this week. That's
KP
mad.
named captain. Mitchy Pearce is back. Lachlan Fitzgibbon is back, I believe. And I just feel like on paper, when you look at the Knights with all their ins. This is the best team that the Knights have sort of been able to put together all season. So they got Broncos, Sharks, which will be a pivotal game. Next week is a massive game. They play Sharks, who are in front of them. Obviously, they've got a superior for and against. But I have the Knights going Broncos win, Sharks win, Bulldogs win, Titans loss.
Wait, so you've lost me. Eagles are at 4, Roosters at 5.
Yep.
Eels.
Yeah, I'll get over to that. I'll get over that after. Yeah, we'll finish that after. So I've got the Knights finishing 7th. I've got them losing to the Titans at the end because I think with the 3 wins in a row here and the Broncos, Sharks and Bulldogs, I think the Knights will be...
Shut your mouth.
They've got the Broncos to finish off and they'll be just a little bit more relaxed. The Titans are going to need it more. But like you said, that's a debate. That's a coin flip. All these games are coin flips, so it's very hard to predict. All right, going up to the Titans who have finished in 8th. I have them finishing over the Sharks because I feel like they will finish on the same points at 24. So Cowboys win, Rabbitohs loss, Storm loss. This is what I'm talking about. They're going to be desperate by the time they get to the Knights. So I've got them for a win there, and they'll finish off and beat Jacko's Wars in the last round of this. That'll be crucial. Like normally that's a tricky game, but to beat the Wars to go in the finals, I have them getting the job done.
It's tough playing a team that's rolling into Mad Monday. Eh?
Yeah, and when you look at the last, and this is where I've got the Sharks rubbing off. So Warriors, they should get the dub this week. I've got them losing to the Knights next week. Tigers and Broncos winnable games, but to go into the finals, they've got to beat the Storm.
Oh, so they're out.
Yeah, so but the for and against is like crucial now for those two teams in particular. So,
geez, you're not a fan of the Warriors, are you?
Even if they were fully fit, but they've lost so. Even Jacko's shaking his head now, like they've lost so many players. So
so's Mark Corro, mate.
These games are obviously like I've got wins and L's, but they're not as predictable as probably you flip back over to the top six, where you sort of get a lot of those teams are going to be $1.20, $1.25 favourites going to these games. These ones are going to be a little bit different. It might be a $1.70 swing on some of those games, but just for my theory anyway.
All right, let's round out this 8.
All right, so the top 8 is I have the Storm finishing first.
Correct.
Playing Manly fourth in the first week of finals.
Grouse.
Okay. On the same side of the table, so this is how it works. I have the Roosters finishing fifth.
Yep.
Playing the Titans eighth. Which will
be
a tricky game.
That's a good game.
Which will be a tricky game.
I like the Titans there at 8.
Okay, I have Parramatta finishing sixth, as I said, playing the Knights at seventh.
Easy game for the
boys. That's a winnable game. I
like where you're going with this game.
That's a winnable game. And then, like I said, for me, the only real certainty is that I feel like Panthers and Rabbitohs will be playing second, third. But all of that can be a lot of those positions from 4 to 8 in particular. There's a bit of a toss up between that. For me, the only locks are Storm, Panthers, and Rabbitohs. But for the sake of the argument,
who wins that first game, Rabbitohs versus Panthers?
Okay, so let's get into it. This is why, just say, and for argument's sake, if Manly finish fifth and they don't have to play Storm first, because I've got Manly, so I've got Storm winning again against Manly in that. So they've just say they lose to Manly. If they lose to the Storm this week and then they have to play them again week 1 of the finals, it reminds me so much of when we lost the fucking Roosters four games in the same year. So what I'm thinking is they won't go out to lose, but if they end up just dropping into fifth spot,
it's not bad.
It's not bad. It's not bad to stay away from, because like I said, when you go through the roster, can you go back up to the Manly roster? You've got Cherry and Foz who obviously won comps, but even experienced guys in those teams like Dylan Walker's won a comp, but he's going to be playing in the 14. Marty Tapau's been around for a minute, but I can't remember him playing much fucking finals footy. No. And as good as Jakey and Turbo have been for Manly, I think they've played maybe one final series, and that was back in 2019.
I think they played a couple because when Blake Green was there as well, they got done in that against the.
That was 2019.
Was he
I believe that was 2019.
I reckon they've had 2 cracks at it.
I could be off on that, so don't hammer us in the. But I'm just talking about in terms of experience. The more games they play, unless, for argument's sake, they beat Melbourne. If they beat Melbourne, my theory is fucking blown out of the water. If they can beat Melbourne week 1 of the finals, then I'm fucked. But the experience of just say they play Titans, they beat the Titans, I'll back them against them, unlike the Roosters. And then, so the next week, just say, this is how I've got it so far. So the next step will be Manly versus Roosters. I'm taking Manly based on where the Roosters are at. They're just so banged up.
Agree.
And on the flip side, I'm not confident, but I have the Eels beating the Knights, and I have the Rabbitohs. I have the Rabbitohs beating the Panthers.
So you're saying the Eels are going to lose the next 4 out of 5 games and roll into finals and beat the Knights, who are going to win 4 out of the next 5?
I'm not confident in it.
Yeah.
I told you I'm not confident in it. That could just say if that's Knights, but I think getting down to the important, like for me,
it doesn't really matter. These guys,
yeah, it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant for the bottom teams. They're not going to beat.
They're just here to eat their lunch.
They're not going to successfully beat these better teams as we go into it. So just
respectfully,
say, for argument's sake, Eels win due to respect to their place on the ladder, and I have the Rabbitohs beating Panthers in the week 1 of the finals.
I think so too, eh?
Yeah, because I just feel like Panthers have had their run they're so banged up. A big loss for them and is like I don't think it's been talked about. Brian Toto. Cam Smith, I think, did a podcast with Kempy or did the SEN, and he said that they did just as much video in the grand final on Brian Toto as they did on Nathan Cleary.
Fuck,
For me, that's massive. Yeah, and that's a massive
huge.
wrap on how the best team in the comp view Brian Toto, and he doesn't look like he's going to be back until finals time. They're obviously a big chance to get Nath back, but I've also done what's the shoulder injury that he had? Jacko, can you look that up for me as we're going?
AC injury, isn't it?
No, it's at the back, the sublux, I think it is. But Jacko's getting it as we go. But Nath's going to be underdone, and he's going to be a target.
Spot. Yeah.
He is going to be a target because one of the strengths of Nathan Cleary, and you know this, Ice, he ain't a fucking spot in defence.
No.
Like, Nath will jam you. He reminds me a bit of Joey. Like, he's a throwback to Joey and Trent Barrett and Brad Fittler. Back in those days, halves weren't spots, mate. Like, he's fucking nearly 6 foot and he'd be 90, 95 kilos. He's not a spot.
More my era.
But with his shoulder,
the old
please
spot
stop.
halves.
Yeah.
It was a dislocation, but he's had complications since then.
Yeah, in what part of the shoulder does it have it?
It says just dislocated shoulder.
Did he sublux his shoulder as well? Anyway,
When you do it like that, you're going to do it again.
I did it back in 2012. I missed about 5 or 6 weeks and come back and played, and it just bugged you.
Yeah.
It just it's just there, and you know I never really stung people at the best of times, but it just played on my mind. It was sore after games. It took about 2 or 3 days to recover. So
And the other side of it, Scope,
that's what I'm worried about with the Panthers.
He goes into the line a lot too, and once you know someone's got a sore shoulder.
Yeah,
like someone's just going to hit your side on,
and he's so tough. He's not going to like pull up either.
Nah, no
he's gonna fucking Cooper Cronkett and fucking go all the way in and take his hit for the team because that's the sort of player he is. But it's just not going to suit him. And Rabbitohs for me are flying. All right, so Rabbitohs go through, and this is where they cross over in the system. So Panthers will have to cross over to the other side. It'll be a grand final replay the week before the grand final, Storm versus Panthers. And then Manly beating the Roosters cross over to Rabbitohs, which is going to be a fucking
that's a game.
doozy.
That's a game.
It's going to be a fucking doozy.
So in your prediction, when we get after all this, we've got Storm versus Panthers in the major semi, and then Manly and Rabbitohs, which everyone kind of anticipates. But to see it like this, it's like, this is cool. Yeah, it's cool to see the way it plays out. Like I said, it could be a little bit different. I am so certain, though, that Manly go this deep. I'm certain the Storm go this deep. Rabbitohs, Panthers scare me, but I'll show them the respect of once all the troops are back by this time. Whether they're a bit underdone, I think might hurt them this year. Who's in the GF?
Okay, Storm straight away. Let's knock them in straight away. Like I said, they're the best team. It's hard to... I said at the start of the year, I'm not going to go against the Storm all year. At the start of the year, I had the Rabbitohs into the grand final against the Storm. That was my pick at the start of the year. But I've got to go to the Bird Gang, baby. I've got to go to the Bird Gang.
So good. There's too many signs, isn't there?
But that's going to be a fucking cracker of a game, mate. I'm looking forward to that. And that'll be probably, rolling into it, apart from the little Storm hiccup in it if they play them in finals. Manly and Rabbitohs will both be rolling by this stage.
You sort of went for a similar scenario, 2013.
Yeah.
Big game. And then GF. It's a long month, isn't it?
So the thing that I thought about with this with regards to us, it suited us to be playing the Roosters. Even though we lost to them, we had, if we had won that game, having the week off wouldn't have mattered for us as much because we had all experienced guys that had won before. Apart from myself, maybe Tommy Simons, Brenton Lawrence, a couple of these guys that were like part of the 17, we hadn't had any finals experience. The rest of the guys had already been there and done that.
Yep.
So it was worth for us to go and fucking go after it, get the week off because we gave everything that game. The Roosters gave everything that game.
4-0?
Yeah. And then they kicked the feet up, had the week off. We had to play the Sharks, respectfully. And we just fucking... We almost played our grand final by coming back and beating Rabbitohs in the preliminary final.
Yeah, great.
And then we gassed, and we obviously the rest is history. We blew out in the grand final. But with this Manly team, if they were to finish fifth, come up against the Titans, against a team that's going to cause them a little bit of dramas, they've got to be up for it. All right, knock them off. Roosters, experienced campaigners. They've been there, done that.
Shortest.
They know how to win finals.
Yeah.
That's another good tick. Bang. They flip over, and then now they're getting into the nitty-gritty. They're going to have to to be the best, you got to beat the best. And they're going to get the opportunity to play against the Rabbitohs and potentially knock off the Storm in the grand final if they can do both.
That'd be interesting because there'd be like a left side versus left side, the Manly versus Rabbits, eh? Like, Rabbits' left side's always really, really good.
Yep. And the good and with the right side for the it's strong. Like defensively, it's a really good edge for Manly. So it'll Tommy versus Trell.
Yeah, that's what you want to see.
Tommy versus Trell to go into the fucking grand final. Oh, bro, that'd be a fucking marketing
easy
stream.
to market that. All right, so even just Manly, the Storm Manly, it's already got history there. They already hate each other, Battle of Brookie, all that sort of shit. All right, couple playmakers return this week. Mitchell Moses, off the back of Origin, broke his back somehow. Like, I'm not too sure on the extent of that. Sounds pretty serious, but if he's back in a couple of weeks, that's great news for Parramatta. Parramatta, where are they going wrong?
So I messaged you about this because obviously I love talking about Manly and I don't talk about Parramatta as much. But the one frustrating thing for me is, especially, and it's reared its head in the last couple of weeks, they just because I think Peter Sterling come out and said they need to throw the ball around a little bit more. I think it's the opposite. Like they need to, once the acid test gets put on them, I feel like all the middles sort of become ball players. Like they all start running that forward shape and like sort of turning their back. And to me, it's not like Jakey Travojevic running it. It's not like I don't think the best the player that runs it the best out of all of them is Junior Paulo in that team.
He's probably got their best carry as well.
But I'd rather Junior fucking like just say if I'm in the defensive line and Junior running at me, if he starts turning his back to put that pass on, I'd be going grouse. Fuck that. Like I don't want any of that smoke. But like when he starts like charging forward. Nathan Brown does it as well. He's a player that can turn it. He's turned it before in the past where they can be playing a bit sideways and then he just gets a carry and goes fucking bang.
The hard thing about Nathan Brown though, so say like they're coming off a sideline and they'll drop him under, so they go half back, drop him under like that. Like he doesn't really get to a point. He'll just go wherever the yards are. Yeah. And it looks like a great run from a fan's perspective, but when you're trying to throw shape and shit, it's kind of annoying. Yeah. Because he'll go skip back in and then you basically come back to where you've come from and then, all right, you have to set up another play plus your middle's out. So,
Marty Tapel's got a habit of doing that at Manly too, where he'll just, he can skip away and he's been much more direct. And once you get to the fucking right spots, it makes such a big difference.
Yeah, so that's sort of one flaw in that type of system. Yeah, it's good. But like, I haven't watched too much power play lately.
Yeah, so what happens is what I'm talking about, when they run that shape and it gets them going sideways because once Junior and Nathan Brown and even the guys that come off the bench for him who are fucking like Oregon Kafusi, bro, when he comes off the back fence. Murata. When these guys start fucking going forward, they look like they're a handful. But when they start going sideways and throwing it out the back, naturally you just start seeing like Dylan Brown and Mitch Moses and Jacob Arthur they're going sideways as well. I said at the start of the year as well, like when they got off the back of Reid Marnie and he was direct and he was getting out and he was playing like you can still run the shape. Like the shape still presents it like two forwards in the exact same shape with the halves out the back. But I feel like they need to carry a couple more, generate a quick play ball, which all the best teams are doing now. Like Melbourne are in that shape. They can sit in that shape, but as soon as they get a quick one, bang, they go. And then even now when they get a quick play the ball, instead of running that double shape to flick it out the back to go, they just go pass. You don't need to create that anymore. Like the quick play the balls creating the overlap anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
So it's just one of the things I think will be important. But with regards to like we talked about their run home, it's fucking awful. So
I reckon Mitch Moses, he's been copping a bit of a hammering like a little bit lately. You know what I mean?
Mitchie always cops a hammering. Mitchie like
no, anyone that's a Parramatta half always cops a hammering.
Yeah,
that's just the way it is. He's a obviously very talented player. Got X factor, can control the game as well.
They'll improve.
Very competitive.
Yep.
Man, I'm looking forward to see how he bounces back in this little period.
Yeah, it's an important period, and like you said, he's always got his. There's
nothing better when Parramatta's going well, eh?
Yeah, it's grouse. Like I'd love to see Parra go on a run. Like, fuck, it'd be cool to see them go on a deep run because obviously I've got a from
the area,
being an ex-player, and my family still live in the area. I'd love to see him do well, but. Big 5 weeks for Mitchie. Like he's come off like it would have been such a high to finally make Origin for him. The team was going well up until the halfway point of the season. Fuck, now he breaks his back. They've got the run of doom. People fucking would unfairly too smashing him after that Origin game. I thought, he had some really nice moments in that. So a nice little period for Mitch to sort of show what he's made of.
Yeah, I'm excited. Nathan Cleary touched on him a little bit with the shoulder.
Yep.
Man, Penrith just look like a normal side without him, don't they?
Yeah, it hasn't helped last week. Fisher Harris, Isaiah Yell, these sorts of guys like
Tavita Pangai Jr. comes in.
Yeah.
Is he named this week? Named this week, so that's
this week.
bit of go forward,
Yep.
which will help. Nathan's in the 21 jersey, so he's still a chance that he can make it.
Yep.
Bro, you need Nathan there. You need him there ASAP. You need him get him back into form, and he just makes everyone else better, doesn't he?
Yeah, and I also throw in a little point with guys like Jerome Luai. Like, he's only a young guy that's just come out of his first Origin series too.
Tired.
So he's a little bit tired, a little bit flat, getting back to with a lot like some players come out of that period, especially younger guys, and they haven't played Origin footy before. It's a bit of a letdown to come back and play at NRL level again because you got all that emotion.
I think you're emotionally invested into
it's such
3-4 weeks.
It always seems like a big deal. Like I seen players that I played with in the past, and they come back and they just really struggled for about 2 or 3 weeks. So I think Jerome will be sweet, and if somehow he gets Nath back in the next couple of weeks, I think that'll free him up nicely to do what he does best.
Stephen Crichton obviously come out firing last year.
Yeah.
Sort of just been...
Yeah, he would have been a little bit dejected to sort of not be around that squad. Like last year, he was part of the.
Where's he getting in that squad?
Yeah,
though?
it's going to be tough.
That's the other question.
Yeah, it's tough. Like he's been okay without being.
Yeah,
I think a big turning point for the Panthers when you look back on it now is like they handled it well for a couple of weeks after. Everyone come after him about being too cocky and shit in that Raiders game. I think actually,
they come back to earth pretty quickly. The boys.
They've had so many players in Origin.
Yeah,
they've had fucking nearly. I almost had to
4 or 5 players.
I had to pull myself back there. They've had 6 or 7 guys in and around camp or playing in Origin games. So this is up to Nathan Cleary, Ivan, to make sure that he starts getting all these players playing back there.
How do you manage that? Do you give them a bit less time at training?
That's a tough one. I can't answer that one.
Yeah, it helps when you're winning, but they're obviously struggling a little bit at the moment as well. So
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I sort of brought this up a couple of weeks ago. Like I don't. You've talked about this as well. We don't see sort of Panthers making it, do we? Man,
making the grand final? No,
yeah. But few too many holes at the moment.
Stephen Crichton's best position centre scope, or do you like to see him at fullback?
Yeah, centre in this team. When we spoke to Nathan Cleary and Tyrone May, the amount of respect that Dylan Edwards has got inside that locker room, that team.
What do you reckon it is?
He must just be. He's just one of those guys in the team that does everything right.
Like he prepares well.
He doesn't seem like he's that sort of X factor guy, but I think I seen a stat at the start of the year where
he's carrying the most yards.
His kick return meters before contact is so like he basically gets on his bike, comes straight back, and then gets him on the front foot, and then off the back of that, you've got guys like Brian Toto and that.
It'd be interesting
carrying the footy.
It'd be interesting if the boys are down like a few points in a major semi. Kind of like I remember Chad Townsend got hooked a few years back and Jack Bird. I can see something happen like that with Dylan Edwards where they might throw Crichton at the back if they're chasing points and stuff. Because I don't know if he's got too many points.
I think they really love him there, man. So yeah, Crichton looks set to. I think he's out this week though. Let me have a look at that.
Crichton.
Yep.
Yeah,
he is because Kurt Capewell's playing centres and Momorowski. So I'm not too sure what happened to him. Yeah, Robert Jennings and Stephen Crichton are out. I wonder if that's injury. Can you check that as well, Jacko, as we're going?
Yeah. I think it's pretty much a wrap. Oh, no, grand final location.
Yeah, grand final location.
I just got Suncorp. It's just the home of rugby league, isn't it?
Yeah, but it looks like they'll do everything that they possibly can to keep it at Suncorp. You can get 50, 60,000 there at
50,
Suncorp.
50,
50,000 at Suncorp.
It's a great stadium to play at. Like, it's close, you know what I mean? Like, ANZ sucks.
Yeah.
Be nice if 80, but...
Yeah, but Suncorp is grouse. Like everyone who's played NRL, a lot of ex-NRL, current NRL players' team. If it's not your home ground, it's Suncorp because it's such a cool game to play at.
1 week ban for Stephen Crichton, contrary conduct charge.
Okay, there you go. So he'll be back next week. MCG is another option, and talk of potentially going to New Zealand, but then you'd have to go on a bubble. That'd be cool for New Zealand if they could get it, but it won't happen.
No, it won't happen. Yeah.
MCG? There's so many variables, bro, because they won't be able to really make a decision until fucking probably finals time with everything that's going on with COVID. Like, and then they're going to be on fast track to fucking making sure they're selling tickets.
Yeah. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you as always. Like, comment, and subscribe.